So there's a guy that I like to listen to. I'm very familiar with him. Comes out on the internet. He works over at ESPN. His name's Chael Sonnen. And Chael Sonnen said a few days ago, he said, Tai Tuivasa's a tough guy. Chael compared him to DL Tank Abbott and that he's a street fighter. He's a brawler. He's got the right mind. He's got bad intentions. He's got power in his hands, but he doesn't have a belt. And when I know about Tai Tuivasa doesn't have a belt, he doesn't have a belt in Taekwondo. He doesn't have it in karate. He doesn't have it in Kung Fu. He doesn't have it in Jiu-Jitsu. He does not know what in the hell he's doing. He's going to be a handful for anybody because he likes this line of work. He's going to be a handful of anybody because he's short to the mat. He's hard to get under if you want to grapple with him. He's going to put these right on your head, and he can take a hell of a shot, but he's not very good. That statement must be amended. Tai Tuivasa, words I never thought I would speak, is now the number 3 ranked heavyweight in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Tai Tuivasa, I'm not having the same conversation just if Tai goes out there and beats Derrick. That was a slugfest. We knew it from Jump Street. The matchmakers threw us one so that we could have a good time, and they succeeded. We had a hell of a good time, but I'm not having this conversation. What I needed to see was Tai Tuivasa thrown down to the mat like a sack of potatoes, turn over, find an underhook, and stand back up. That is what I needed to see. That is more skill than Tai Tuivasa has ever shown. And if you think I'm insulting him, guys, you're hearing me wrong. I am praising him. But this was a very rough guy that I don't even think he's a fan of the sport. If I'm not fighting, guys, I'm watching. If I'm not watching, I'm discussing. I love the sport. I'm not sure Tuivasa, if he's at home, is watching mixed martial arts on television. He said something close to that at the post-fight press conference. They said, well, Tai, you just took out the number 3 and the guy in the world. You're on a 5-fight win streak, all by finish. You're probably going to be the number 3 guy in the world, which puts you in that upper echelon, meaning you're fighting guys 1 through 5. Who do you want to fight next? And he said, I don't even know who's in the top 5. That was his response. First off, I love that response. I loved it. Nobody ever knows who's in the top 5 unless it's you. Nobody even knows what those rankings are. I bring that to you because for Tuivasa to say that answer generally is the thing that would piss me off. How have you not studied this? How are you sandhagging in your own career? And how do you not have a name that you can call out? But it was the authenticness that he wasn't working. He wasn't looking for attention. He wasn't trying to have a good line. He was just shooting straight. And I don't know who the top 5 are. Bring me anybody. I'm ready to get down with anyone. Normally an answer that would drive me insane. I liked it from him. There was something real and authentic about it. But we can have the same talk about Tai Tuivasa in the fact of recognizing his popularity. The shoey's a real thing. He's got a gimmick, and we got a lot of things that we could do to be having positive conversations on Tai Tuivasa. To say that he is 1 win away from fighting for a championship, which he is, none of you predicted that. I did not predict that. And there is a question of how and why. How did he get this good? Why are we seeing such changes in him? We've got a pretty good answer. He was under, his words, a lot of restrictions at home, as well as distractions. So he packs up and he goes to the UAE. He's got a new gym and a new facility. And my goodness, it was gorgeous. They took their countdown show there. Like he's outside on a rooftop lifting weights in the sunshine. I mean, it was just a dream gym. It was gorgeous. But he went over there with his brother-in-law. He's buckled down. He's listening to the coaches clearly. He doesn't have the restrictions, meaning he can get a couple workouts in a day. He doesn't have the distractions, meaning he's not going out to the bar with his buddies afterwards. Real straightforward, real simple. But we can also identify specifically what he did, and he must be a sponge. He must be a very curious guy who truly wants to get better. And this is with coaches and teammates that he was not familiar with, which meant no matter what he was doing or what he was saying, he could not fully trust those guys. He wants to, but he can't. Now that he sees that they're right, now that he sees he's in the right hands, now that he sees that his coaches and trainers know exactly what they're talking about as it pertains to him, guys, he's going to get better. And what I saw, okay, I got to run back everything I said, but he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He does know what he's doing. The fact that he scrambled, the way he defended that guillotine, the way he went for one himself, he was taking shots to the head. The Black Beast was hitting him as hard as he could, 2 perfectly clean, 4 in total, and Tuivasa turned face him and started firing back. That is what won the fight. Many of you are saying that that elbow didn't look like it knocked Derrick out. Yeah, the elbow didn't knock Derrick out. Fine. This just happened in a more recent example to Amanda Nunes. One thing that will happen in a fight, okay? If you give your opponent your best and he's still standing, that will affect you mentally in ways that's very hard to reset. That's all that happened with Amanda and Jules. Amanda landed the same power that put everybody else down. You guys might remember another example. Do you remember Conor versus Nate Diaz part 1? And Conor was the only athlete to actually admit it and talk about it, which is why Conor was able to correct it and change it for part 2. But Conor said, I hit him with shots that have put every other opponent down. He didn't go down. Conor admitted that drained him. That sucked energy out. It's not physically more power. There's a mental side to preserving your cardio abilities as well. That gets a hole put right in the tank as soon as you give your best to somebody and they take a step forward as opposed to falling backwards. That's what happened. Derrick unloaded. The guy's still standing there. Derrick starts doing the math. I got 10 or 11 minutes left. This guy ain't going anywhere, and I'm getting a little low on energy. So, referee doesn't get you out of there. Your cornerman doesn't do your job. Give me a shot that looks real. I'll take it from here. What do you do with Tai now? I mean, that conversation is very different. You could do about anything you wanted with Tai Tuivasa except put him in there with Curtis Blades. The only thing I can tell you for sure will not be next for Tai Tuivasa is Curtis Blades. Everything else is on the table. You can sell, as rough and green as Tai is, you can sell that power and chin against Gon right now. You could sell it. You have to work a little bit. You could sell that chin and power and ability to brawl against Francis Ngannou right now. You could not put Tai Tuivasa with Jon Jones, nor would you want to. The Stipe fight, a little bit harder sell. I mean, I think they need a little bit of work, but you got to get somebody in there. You got to find somebody to come out and do it. And I do give Derrick a lot of credit here because one thing that we have in the heavyweight class is we have 4 stars. We had 4 stars, and allegedly soon we're going to have Jon Jones, and then you have the rest of the field. And there was very big gaps, and it's hard to get one of those stars to sign on with one of the boys. And that's what Derrick did. Derrick took a big risk. Got up in the loft, left the ladder down, now somebody else has climbed up. Derrick's going to be just fine. Fighting Derrick Lewis coming off a loss, bad idea. Not great. Sometimes you got to do it. Derrick's going to be fine. Derrick looked fine last night. But he ran into a guy that had a good performance. He had a guy that possibly overperformed. And Tai Tuivasa to get that much better between fights, just because he got a new camp, new training partners, but now he can believe him. Now he can trust him. Now he can see what his potential, because he's still green, guys. He's still raw. Right? You take these great fighters, take Jon Jones just by example. Jon's not going to come out and be a lot better. Doesn't have a lot more to go. Tuivasa's still a blue belt in everything. He's a brawler with some heart, and he's getting better. I think it's a very exciting day. I think the heavyweight division needed rejuvenized. They still need 3, 4, 5 guys to step up. But the first 2 step forward into breaking this upper echelon of stardom, now ranked number 3 in the world, his name's Tai Tuivasa.